Uyormi Orojo didn't just lose her sight in the accident, she lost her sense of independence. Before the tragedy, she had been a force to reckon with, renowned for a sharp intuition and ability to outmaneuver even the savviest businessmen. She had dreams of expanding the Orojo empire globally, but everything changed the day her father's private jet crashed. She had been the sole survivor. The crash left her blind, and with her father gone, she inherited the family fortune but also became dependent on her family. Her husband, Etomi, seemed supportive at first, stepping up as her confidant and right-hand man in business matters. Ibeojo, her charming and outgoing younger sister, moved in to help Uyormi adjust to her new life, and Ojotule, her older brother, assured her that he would oversee operations in the company. But beneath their words of comfort and promises of loyalty, lurks secrets Uyormi was too trusting to see. The accident might have taken Uyormi's sight, but it has sharpened her other senses. She could tell when someone lingered too long in a conversation, when voices shifted with guilt or deceit. Still, she ignored the subtle sign for years, convincing herself her family was her safe haven. Dr. Emeka's call came like a beam of light in her darkness. The surgery is experimental, he had warned, but the chances are promising. After weeks of deliberation, Uyorjo decided to undergo the surgery in secret, using an alias and traveling to Dubai to avoid arousing suspicion. The procedure was a success, but Uyormi didn't feel victorious. On the flight back to Lagos, she thought about her family. She often overheard whispers, arguments between Etomi and Ibeojo, but she dismissed them as sibling spat. She recalled Ojotule's habit of rushing her through financial documents, claiming they were too complex for her to review. Her mother's dismissive tone when Uyormi questioned anything now seemed more significant. Uyormi vowed to uncover the truth, but she would do it on her own terms. Uyormi's first week back in Lagos was like stepping into a theater where everyone was acting. She pretended she was still blind, her dark glasses concealing her sharp gaze. She observed her family with a mix of curiosity and dread. Ibeojo's behavior was the first to arouse suspicion. She hovered too close to Etomi. Her laugh was too loud, her touch too casual. Uyormi pretended to be oblivious, but her heart pounded with anger and disbelief. Her suspicion was confirmed a few nights later when she asked Etomi to bring her tea. She accidentally dropped her scarf, and as she bent down to pick it up, she saw Ibeojo's reflection in a nearby mirror, standing just outside the door, watching Etomi with an intensity that spoke volume. Uyorjo's resolve hardened. She needed proof, not just suspicion. Uyorjo enlisted the help of her long-time driver, Musa, a man she trusted truly. Musa was loyal to the family, but even more loyal to Uyormi, who had once saved his daughter's life by paying for her surgery. Musa, I need your help. I need you to follow Etomi, Uyormi said one evening, keeping her tone casual. Yes, madam, Musa replied, no questions asked. 2 days later, Musa returned with photos that shattered Uyormi's world. Etomi and Ibeojo wearing just clothes, they were lovers. The photos showed them entering the same hotels multiple times, laughing, holding hands, and even kissing in public. Uyormi sat in her room for hours, staring at the photo. Her heart ached, not just from Etomi's betrayal, but from Ibeojo. How could her sister do this to her? Uyormi's discovery of Ojotule's betrayal came by accident. She had asked for a detailed breakdown of the company's quarterly earnings, but Ojotule dismissed her request, claiming the numbers were too complex. Uyormi decided to take matters into her own hands. With the help of an old friend, Uche, a tech-savvy former employee of the company, she assessed the financial record late at night. What she found was staggering. Ojotule had been embezzling millions, transferring transferring funds into his offshore account. When confronted, Uche confirmed her fears. "Madam, I didn't want to say anything before because I thought you knew," Uche said hastily, "but it's been happening for years." "Yes?" Uyormi clenched her fist, her nails digging into her palms. Uyormi's conversation with her mother was the most devastating of all. She approached her mother in a family garden, hoping for comfort and clarity. "Mama," she said, "do you know what Ibiojo and Etomi are doing behind my back?" she asked, her voice trembling. Mama Ojotule's response was just a deep sigh. "Uyormi, you are blind. You don't need to burden yourself with those things. Let God handle it." The word felt like a slap. "You knew?" she whispered. Her mother didn't answer. She simply patted Uyormi's hand and said, "Rest, my child. These things are not for you to worry about." Uyormi spent weeks preparing for the confrontation. She worked with Chief Eze to gather irrefutable evidence of Ibiojo and Etomi's affair, Ojotule's theft, and even her mother's complicity. She even began quietly transforming power within the company, promoting loyal employees and removing those aligned with Ojotule. Uyormi knew that confronting her family directly wouldn't be enough. If she wanted justice, she had to dismantle the web of lies they spun and ensure they had no way out. With the help of Uche and Chief Eze, she compiled evidence that was so damning it would leave no room for denial. Ibiojo's bank records show unexplained deposits, gifts from Etomi. Ojotule's offshore accounts were traced and documented, and as for her mother, Uyormi kept a journal of every conversation, her mother's dismissive words as sharp as dagger in her memory. But Uyormi wasn't just preparing for revenge, she wanted redemption. If there was any part of her family that could be salvaged, she would try, but only after exposing the truth. Uyormi decided to strike during a family dinner. It was her late father's death anniversary, a day when they all came together to honor his memory. She planned it meticulously, ensuring every piece of evidence was ready to present. As they gathered around the dining table, Uyormi felt like the weight of their betrayal, like a physical burden. Etomi sat beside her, dotting as usual. Ibiojo was radiant in a dress Uyormi had once complimented, and Ojotule was already halfway through his second glass of wine. Their mother sat at the head of the table, her usual air of superiority unshaken. Uyormi began with a toast. "To Papa," she said, raising her glass, "and to family, though not all family deserve loyalty." A murmur of confusion ripened through the room. Etomi reached for her hand, but she pulled away. "I've been blind for years, but now I can see," Uyormi continued, removing her sunglasses. The room felt silent as she opened her eyes, revealing a gaze that was sharp and piercing. "Uyormi," Ibiojo stammered, her face pale. "Save it," Uyormi snapped, her voice cold. She turned to Ojotule. "Dear brother, let's start with you. Care to explain how billions of naira ended in your private account while the company struggles?" Ojotule froze, his wine glass slipping from his hand. "I can explain. Don't bother," Uyormi interrupted. "I have the records, and so do the authorities. You'll be hearing from them soon." Before Ojotule could respond, Uyormi turned to Ibiojo and Etomi. "And as for you two," she threw a stack of photos on the table, each one capturing intimate moments between them. Ibiojo gasped. Etomi tried to stand, but Uyormi's glare pinned him in place. "How long?" she demanded. "How long have you two been betraying me under my own roof?" Neither of them spoke. Finally, she faced her mother. "And you, mother, you knew everything and said nothing." Her mom sighed deeply. "Uyormi, I was protecting you. You were too fragile to handle this." "Fragile?" Uyormi's voice rose. "I survived the plane crash, built this empire, and carried this family on my back. I'm anything but fragile. And you let them treat me like a fool? because I couldn't see. The dinner ended in chaos. Ojotule stomped out threatening to sue, but Uyormi knew he couldn't dare. The evidence against him was airtight. Ibejo fled the room sobbing, while Etomi tried to plead with Uyormi only to be met with a cold silence. Uyormi spent the next few weeks unraveling the mess her family had created. Ojotule was removed from the company and faced legal consequences for his action. Etomi and Ibejo's betrayal became public knowledge, effectively ruining their reputation. As for her mother, though spared from legal repercussions, was cut off from my life totally. For the first time in years, Uyormi felt free. She restructured the company, bringing in new talent and focusing on expanding globally, just as she always dreamed of. She also began investing in causes close to her heart, particularly to those people with disability. But the scar of her family betrayal remained. While she forgave them in time, she never allowed them back into her cycle. Uyormi's life wasn't perfect, but it was hers. And as she looked out over Lagos from her penthouse balcony, she smiled, knowing she had proclaimed power.